Glenridding, down by Ullswater, is a very popular spot. For the fell walkers, it is a popular starting point for Helvellyn. For the unfit walkers like me, it is handy for a more gentle stroll, in this case to the remains of the lead mine up at Greenside. Even before leaving the village, the views are splendid, with Birkhouse Moor, Sheffield Pike, Heron Pike and Glenridding Dodd flanking the valley. Onwards along the now rough track to Greenside Mine. I think this sign is superfluous. The first building connected with the lead mine, other than the miners' cottages in Glenridding, is the gunpowder store, located some distance from the mine and built into the terrain such that if a blast did occur, it would only come out one way. This stream coming down the hillside, and captured in this trough, is, as the sign says, unfit for drinking. Not surprising, as it has probably emerged from old lead mine workings. The environs of Greenside Mine have been cleaned up since I first visited over 20 years ago, but there are still hazardous areas, as indicated by this sign. This is Swart Beck. At first sight it looks like an ordinary beck tumbling down the hillside, but looking up reveals a rather barren landscape of old mine spoil and the remains of some buildings. Looking the other way, the beck flows down to join Glenridding Beck. Panning round reveals spoil heaps, now tidied up and landscaped, although greenery is finding it hard to get established amongst this old mine spoil. Lead mining has taken place around these parts for over 2 centuries. Greenside Mine was officially started in 1825 and mining continued until 1961. It is not only lead which was mined at Greenside. Plenty of silver, more valuable, came out of the ground as well. And in later years, barytes, which was thought of merely as spoil, was found to contain enough barium to make it a valuable commodity. The remaining mine buildings have all been splendidly restored and are now in use as hostels or holiday accommodation. Having climbed a little way up to get some views, including some of old mine workings, mainly water channels, in my foolishness I kept going up what was quite a steep and rocky zigzag path. It was worth it for the views, both looking down on the mine and looking around the hills from Sheffield Pike to a glimpse of Ullswater with the High Street Ridge behind, Birkhouse Moor and round to Catstead Camp. At the top of the steep climb, a wall of spoil is encountered, much of this originating from very old workings seen in the hillside beyond. Swart Beck is seen here, flowing through what is quite a barren area. At this point, the sensible option would have been to turn round and return via Greenside, so instead I headed for Glencoyne. The path from here up to the top of Glencoyne is normally boggy, as evidenced by the cotton grass, but on this occasion it was very dry. A view from the head of Glencoyne, looking across to Hartside and Brown Hills and round to Ullswater. Despite my many wanderings in the Lake District, I had never been up or down Glencoyne before. The path was rather narrow and perched on the steep slopes of Sheffield Pike, not my favourite type of path. Treading carefully took priority over filming and photography, although a couple of stops were made. This is seldom seen, a row of miners' cottages hidden in Glencoyne, rather oddly positioned, as each walk to and from work would involve climbing a large hill before getting to the mine. I wish I had taken the path through the farmland rather than the woodland above Seldom Seen, as I would have had a better view of the cottages. Additionally, the woodland path turned out to be very rocky and uneven. Seldom Seen seems an appropriate name. During my walk down Glencoyne, I encountered two walkers near the head of the valley, and no one else until reaching this seat, strategically placed well over 100 years ago. What a fine view!